Welcome back. In this video, you're going to get a complete review and full understanding of the 1989 Chevrolet Camaro IROC-Z. We'll cover everything that matters, from the exterior design and interior comfort to the technology, performance, driving experience, practicality, strengths, weaknesses, pricing, value for money, and how it compares with its biggest rivals. So stay with me until the very end, because by the time this video is over, you'll have a complete picture of this iconic machine and discover details that many people overlook when talking about one of America's most memorable performance cars. Some cars are fast, some cars are stylish, and then there are cars that become symbols of an era. The 1989 Chevrolet Camaro IROC-Z belongs firmly in that last category. The moment you see one, you're transported back to the late 1980s, a time when performance was making a comeback, pop culture was larger than life, and American muscle was finding a new identity after the difficult years of the 1970s. The IROC-Z wasn't just another trim level. It was Chevrolet's statement that the Camaro was still a serious performance machine. It combined aggressive styling, impressive handling, and V8 power in a package that captured the imagination of enthusiasts across North America. The story of the IROC-Z begins with the International Race of Champions, commonly known as IROC, a racing series where some of the world's best drivers competed in identical cars. Chevrolet used that connection to create a special version of the Camaro that would bring a race-inspired image to the streets. By 1989, the IROC-Z had evolved into one of the most desirable Camaros available. It sat near the top of the lineup and represented everything that performance-minded buyers wanted from an American sports coupe. Even today, the design remains one of the most recognizable shapes in automotive history. Looking at the 1989 IROC-Z, it's easy to understand why it became a poster car for an entire generation. The low-slung body appears planted even when standing still. The long hood, sharply angled windshield, and wide stance create an unmistakable sense of purpose. Unlike many modern performance cars that rely on oversized grilles and dramatic styling tricks, the Camaro's appearance feels clean and confident. The aerodynamic nose, integrated spoilers, ground effects, and distinctive IROC-Z decals gave the car an identity all its own. The alloy wheels filled the arches perfectly, while the subtle yet aggressive details hinted at the performance underneath. Park one next to a regular family sedan from the same era, and the difference is dramatic. The Camaro looked like it belonged on a racetrack, even when sitting in a suburban driveway. One of the reasons the design has aged so well is that it balances aggression with restraint. It never feels overly complicated. Instead, it relies on proportions and stance. The result is a car that still attracts attention decades later. Whether you're at a classic car show or simply driving down a city street, the IROC-Z has a presence that makes people stop and look. Opening the door takes you back to a completely different automotive era. The interior reflects late 1980s design trends, but that's part of its charm. The dashboard wraps around the driver, creating a cockpit-like feeling that immediately reminds you this car was built with driving in mind. The gauges are easy to read, the controls are straightforward, and everything feels focused on the person behind the wheel. The seats were designed to provide more support than the standard Camaro, and that becomes especially noticeable when driving through corners. While modern sports cars offer more advanced materials and technology, the IROC-Z creates a connection that many newer vehicles struggle to match. There is a sense of mechanical honesty here. You're not surrounded by screens and digital menus. Instead, you're interacting directly with the machine. Comfort is respectable for a performance coupe of its time. Front seat occupants enjoy a low seating position that enhances the sporty atmosphere, while rear seat space is usable but not particularly generous. This was never intended to be a family vehicle first. It was designed for drivers who valued style and performance. Still, for weekend trips or occasional passengers, the interior remains surprisingly practical. When discussing technology, it's important to remember the context of the late 1980s. Compared to today's vehicles, the feature list may seem simple. However, for its era, the IROC-Z offered equipment that buyers appreciated, including power accessories, premium audio options, air conditioning, and electronic fuel injection technology that helped improve drivability and efficiency. What makes the experience interesting today is how uncomplicated everything feels. There are fewer distractions and fewer layers between the driver and the road. Safety is another area where automotive progress becomes obvious. Modern driver assistance systems such as lane-keeping technology, automatic emergency braking, and adaptive cruise control simply did not exist. The Camaro relied on its structural engineering, braking system, and driver awareness. While that may sound basic by modern standards, it reflects the reality of performance cars from that period. Driving an IROC-Z demands more involvement and attention, which many enthusiasts actually find rewarding. Of course, the real reason people remember the IROC-Z is what happens when you turn the key and hear the engine come to life. Depending on configuration, buyers could choose from several powertrain options, with the V8 engines being the stars of the show. The famous 5.7-liter V8 delivered the kind of character that made muscle car fans smile every time they pressed the accelerator. The numbers alone only tell part of the story. What truly matters is how the car feels. The engine responds with a deep, unmistakable rumble that instantly reminds you this is a traditional American performance machine. Acceleration feels strong and satisfying, especially for its era. The power delivery is smooth yet muscular, and every burst of speed comes with a soundtrack that modern turbocharged engines often struggle to replicate. But what surprised many people back then was the handling. Earlier muscle cars were known more for straight-line performance than cornering ability. The IROC-Z helped change that perception. Its upgraded suspension, performance tires, and improved chassis tuning gave drivers a level of confidence that was impressive for the time. On winding roads, the car felt composed and eager, encouraging drivers to push a little harder through each corner. Driving the IROC-Z today is a unique experience because it sits between two automotive worlds. It offers more refinement and handling capability than the classic muscle cars of the 1960s and 1970s, yet it remains raw and mechanical compared to modern sports cars. You feel the steering, you hear the engine, you sense the road beneath you. Every journey becomes an event rather than just transportation. Ownership, however, comes with both rewards and challenges. Enthusiasts love the strong community surrounding these cars. Finding fellow owners, attending shows, and sharing restoration stories are all part of the experience. Parts availability remains relatively good thanks to the Camaro's popularity, which helps keep many examples on the road. At the same time, age brings certain realities. Maintenance becomes more important, and buyers must pay close attention to vehicle history, mechanical condition, and signs of wear. Fuel economy is modest by modern standards, and some interior materials may show their age after decades of use. Yet for many owners, these compromises are part of the car's character rather than deal breakers. The strengths of the IROC-Z are easy to appreciate. It has timeless styling, a memorable V8 soundtrack, engaging driving dynamics, strong enthusiast support, and genuine historical significance. It delivers an experience that feels authentic and emotional in a way that few modern vehicles can match. Its weaknesses are equally important to acknowledge. Safety technology is limited compared to contemporary vehicles. Interior quality, while charming, reflects its era. Refinement levels are lower than modern sports cars, and finding a perfectly preserved example can be increasingly difficult. These are factors potential buyers should consider carefully. When it comes to value for money, the IROC-Z occupies an interesting position in the collector market. Prices vary significantly depending on condition, originality, mileage, and powertrain configuration. Exceptional examples can command strong prices, while more affordable cars remain available for enthusiasts willing to invest time and effort. Compared with many classic performance cars that have become prohibitively expensive, the IROC-Z often represents a relatively accessible entry into American automotive history. Looking at its competitors helps explain its significance even further. The most obvious rival was the Ford Mustang GT. The battle between Camaro and Mustang defined an entire era of American performance. The Mustang offered its own blend of V8 excitement and loyal fan support, but many enthusiasts felt the IROC-Z delivered a more aggressive appearance and sharper handling. Meanwhile, cars like the Pontiac Firebird Trans Am shared much of the Camaro's underlying engineering while presenting a different personality. Choosing between them often came down to personal taste rather than outright superiority. What makes the 1989 Camaro IROC-Z special isn't just its specifications or performance figures. It's the feeling it creates. It represents a moment in automotive history when American manufacturers were rediscovering performance, when styling was bold, and when driving remained a deeply physical experience. It captures the spirit of its era while continuing to attract enthusiasts decades later. In many ways, the IROC-Z serves as a bridge between classic muscle cars and the modern performance machines we see today. It honors the past while pointing toward the future, and that's a rare achievement. Whether you're a lifelong Camaro fan, a collector searching for an iconic piece of automotive history, or simply someone who appreciates great cars, the 1989 IROC-Z remains a vehicle worthy of admiration. As the engine note fades and we take one final look at this legendary machine, it's clear why the Camaro IROC-Z continues to hold a special place in the hearts of enthusiasts around the world. It wasn't perfect, but the cars we remember most rarely are. What matters is the emotion they create, the memories they inspire, and the stories they continue to tell long after production ends. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1989 Chevrolet Camaro IROC-Z, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear whether this iconic Camaro would have a place in your dream garage. And until next time, thanks for watching.